Hello, powerful one. Welcome to this edition of Inner Growth with Says Elimi here. Yes, life and the nature of its game. Life is a game we know. We've already taken that. And I'm sure that you agree with me that life is indeed a game. But you see, the game has just two major ways of it being played. Either you play it the way you met it, the way people who came before you played it, or play it your own way. But the thing is that the most fulfilled people in life are the ones who play the game of life their own way. They made it very clear that life is what they make of it. The reality again is that life is what every human being makes of it. People make a decision to make their lives what it is. The decision could be to go it the simple way, which is the easier way. The way that we met it, the way that has a kind of a blueprint, and that blueprint is not learned, it is etched into your DNA. That is to say, you live your life on the basis of the whims of karma. When you are playing the game the way you were born, the way your culture construed you, the way your extant civilization has conceived and construed you, you live life that way, you are okay. But the question will be, when you eventually are about breathing your last, would you say you have lived your life your own way? Have you lived your life the way you want it to be? Did you find fulfillment at every step of the way? That is the question you can only answer when you get there. But even today, you can know whether you'll be able to say that on that very last moment. Would you be able to say, till now, you are living your life the way you want to live it? We talked about creation, preservation, and transformation as the phases of life. But we have said of these three phases of life, creation, preservation, and transformation, it is at the phase of preservation that we either elevate ourselves to transformation or we stay in the way that we have been molded. We stay on the popular side. We see that top 1% rung, where you choose your game and you play it solo, where you are not competitive, where you don't take sides in the game, where the game is not as important as the player, where you cannot take a life, you cannot condemn a life because of the game, where all things are lawful, all things are legal, but you cannot be bound by anything, where you are friend of all, but you are not bound by the laws of all. Now, that is the level we're talking about. How do you get there? By the things you preserve. There is something I saw today on Facebook, a meme somebody posted. He said, if you are not the observer of your thoughts, or the thought that you are not observing will rule your life. You see, what you are not aware of is what controls your life. But for you to be transformed, you have to be vigilant. And in vigilance, you are being sure that the thoughts that are running in your mind are in line with your chosen life. Therefore, to preserve your identity, you have to first of all define it in creation. That is the first step. Define your identity. Define your intention. And don't let it be disturbed or distorted by any external imaging. Therefore, you do not give room for external imaging to come in. What are you doing when you are preventing external imaging from entering into your creative process? It is preservation. You are shutting out that which is not part of you, that which is foreign, and then you are only working within the resources of your person, the resources of your being. That is the process of preservation. Now, what you're preserving is different. There are people I know, when they are doing certain things and you try to advise them, they resist you. You meet somebody, the person is mixing fruits with other fruit types, and they feel that is the right way to eat, it is the right way. You try to explain to them why it is not the right way, how fruit can rot the food and cause a lot of gas, which eventually leads to flatulence and all kinds of problems. Person says no. There are people who, just because of the momentary pleasure they are going to get from certain action, they refuse to listen to anything that dissuades them against that action, even when it is very obvious that the long-term effect of doing what they are doing is painful. The present pleasure is too much for them to resist. Therefore, they will not listen. If you have chosen to live a life of deferred gratification, which is to say, I will do all that it takes right now to better myself. I don't care what benefit I'm letting go now, because any lifestyle that you have chosen has its own benefit that it has promised you. If you stop that lifestyle, those benefits will cease. And the new lifestyle you are picking up, their benefit will not instantly yield for you, because it is a seed that you have to grow, groom, nurture, and then over time, when they mature, you begin to reap the rewards. You need to groom it, because it is a seed that will grow into a tree. And when it starts yielding its fruit, it is forever. But the lifestyle you are used to, that you have just left, the fruit that you were reaping from them, the pleasures you were reaping from them are over. They stop on the spot. So have you got a life that you do not like? All you need to do is to destroy the seeds of that life. How do you do that? By taking your attention away from it. You stop preserving that life, and then you now face the new life with preservation. So at the end of the day, the rule is simple. Define your life. Protect that definition from external factors. How do you do that? For example, you have decided that henceforth you want to live a life of positivity. You want to shut out all forms of negativity. Let's say you want a life of perpetual health, and then you have some pains in your body, and the pains are hammering at you. The game is not to dwell on the pain and start riding from it. Yes, your body will suffer the excruciating message of the pain, but it is for you to look beyond the causatives. What are the things that gave me this problem? What are the errors I made? Look beyond your errors. The way you have been thinking before, stop thinking that way and say, health is my birthright. I am healthy as soul. My soul is well. My soul is perpetually prosperous. I therefore transmit the health of my soul to my mind and to my body and to my environment. Everything that instigates suffering, everything that instigates sickness and pain in my environment have now been healed. I send healing to my environment. I send healing to my body. Health is my nature, and I embrace my full nature. Be positive. If your resolution is to live in abundance, and the thought of not having money comes to you, especially at that moment when you sleep, people don't understand the value of sleep. When you sleep and as you wake up, the first moment of waking up tells you where you stand in relation to your life. Some problems, some thoughts, some very negative thought that you are not aware of, they come to the surface as you are waking up. That is when you know what thought is running your life. And once they come to your surface, what you usually do is to accept them. This is my nature. This is how I am. No. As a person, you should know that those thoughts are the small foxes that spoil the vine. They are the enemies within. Because you have made up your mind to become positive, life is throwing to you things that are contrary to your new life. What you should do is to demobilize that thought at that particular time. There are two ways about it. The first one is to just ignore the thoughts. Just ignore the thought and then go ahead to start affirming the opposite of that thought. I've said that several times in most of my videos. Affirm the opposite of the negative thought that is happening to you. Don't antagonize the thought, but affirm the things that antagonize the thought. For example, if it is the thought that says you are not progressing, your thought now, what you will now be saying is, my life is beautiful. I am open to good things, and good things are happening in my life. I am progressing. I am marching forward. Goodness and mercies are on my side. all that is required for me to get to my dreams are already available. They are perpetually being supplied by the universal bank. I am in sync with life. Joy and gladness are my property. I rejoice in the little I have because they are blessings. Okay, you say those positivity and ignore those thoughts. That is the first style. The second style, which is also as equally effective, is focus your attention on the thoughts. Just watch the thought. Don't listen to what it is telling you. That's a different level. You can also do that if you can, but most people are not strong enough to be able to analyze the thoughts. Now, the easier one is just look at the thought and don't listen to what it is telling you. Don't allow the emotion it is creating in you to be the substance of your imagination or of your thought. Just watch it. Focus your attention on the thought and just observe it. You will be surprised that the feelings that thought makes you feel will begin to dissolve instantly. I have said it. Try it and then send me a note and tell me whether it works or not. It is magical. It works like magic. If the thought is making you feel unhappy or agitated, just see what happens. You will see that feeling just dissipate in real time. It is the power of your being. Do you know what is just happening at that time? Your soul has focused attention on that thing. Now, the energy of your soul preserves the opposite of every negative thing you turn it upon. Your awareness is your power. Your consciousness, that is, your consciousness is so powerful that when you lay it on anything negative, it will dissolve it. Because you are soul, you are positive. Because you are an emanate of the supreme source, which is the father of all positivity. Therefore, when you allow your real self to lock its attention on anything negative, that thing will die. But if you allow your mind to dwell on anything negative, it will expand. What mind dwells on expand, whatever that thing is, whether it is positive or negative. But when your soul, when the light of your consciousness dwells on anything, if that thing is negative, it will dissipate and die. But if that thing is positive, my friend, that thing will bloom. This is the owner's manual to living the transformational life. It is you doing it your own way. Just be aware of your feelings and lock your attention on them from the level of the soul. When your soul is focused on anything, it does not judge it. It just locks its attention on it and pours its being upon that thing. If that thing is negative, it is fake light. That is ignis fatu, the devil's light, so to say. Your light, being the light of the supreme, will dissolve and destroy that thing because it is negative. But if that thing is positive, my friend, it will bloom. But when your mind is focused on it, it is analyzing it, it is breaking into parts. It's also a good way to go about it, but you have to train your mind and your emotions to be able to stick to the cause of analyzing and finding the falsehood in it and convincing the ego that that thing is wrong. But most times the ego takes the better of us and we fall prey to the emotions and we stop the process of analysis. That is why most people are not able to analyze themselves, so they need a third person in form of a therapist to help them through. But there are some truths that you can tell yourself that the therapist cannot find because it's not in your mind, which makes it easier for you to self-introspect and self-help in all of those areas. So this is preservation at its best. Letting your soul do the work. As you wake up in the morning, my friend, anytime at all you wake up, if you want to know how you are feeling right now, how your state of being is, try and sleep. As you are waking up, you will know where your state of being is as you wake up. And then you can handle it. Once you handle it with that technique I've just given you, focusing your attention on it, you will see it go. So if you can sleep always and then wake up and then see how you're feeling and lock your attention on that feeling to destroy it, you are healing your life. So that is it. Don't toy with your sleep. Don't toy with your powers. Use your powers for your own good. They are made for your good. Use them. God bless you.